So anyways, we're going to be discussing The Wizard of Oz today.
By L. Frank Baum.
Oh yeah, that's who it's by. L. Why? I don't know why their first name is L.
L.
And this this book is gorgeous. Look at the illustrations.
Okay, this is my favoriteest book because of the binding. And
the illustrations are so good.
You see this? I don't know if you can see this. Can you see it better now? Okay, she has one eye. That's the Wicked Witch of the West, or something like that.
Like, so good.
I'm like, oh my gosh, these pictures are great.
So anyways, buy this copy of the book, but you can buy this copy too. It doesn't really matter. The point is that the story is really funny. Actually, this is like a really freaking cliche American story. Like, everyone knows it ever. It's been made into a million different things. I mean, like the new movie, Oz the Great and Powerful, which is supposed to be a prequel to the book, just came out. You know, there's the classic Dorothy with, what's her face? I don't know, super old, like a huge blockbuster back in the day, you know, and it's like it's like the first time, you know, there's a lot of Broadway shows. It's just ridiculously huge. But what's weird is that when I read the book, I was like, this isn't the story. This isn't how it actually works. Because it's interesting, almost every single play and movie version I've seen doesn't actually follow a lot of the plot. There's a lot of stuff in the book that actually isn't anywhere else. There's actually a lot. It's actually creepier than you think. Like the one witch is a cyclops.
Yeah, and also like the message is kind of different in the book.
Yeah.
It is.
Yes. A lot of the movies and a lot of the American media that show this like to talk about how it's a journey of people trying to find what they're really about and being able to grasp certain gifts that they want, and then they eventually find them, and that's great, that's awesome. But something that is in the book that isn't in the movies and things is that the story is actually more about figuring out who you truly are and what you're about. The Tin Man doesn't have a heart, and so he wants to be able to love people. But what's interesting is that in the book, he's the one in the group of friends, he's the one that loves more than anyone else. Dorothy is walking down the road and she accidentally squishes a bug, and he starts crying.
He cries for like 2 hours because
for
the bug is dead.
And he's the most empathetic. He's the one that buoys them all up when they're all feeling down. And then, like, he actually has the love and the heart throughout the entire book.
And the Scarecrow can't think, but then he comes up with all the good ideas.
The Scarecrow wants the brain, but the Scarecrow comes up with all of the ideas.
He's like, I know, we can do this, this, and this. And you're like, how did you come up with that?
And he's like, oh, well, it was just a random thing because I actually don't have a brain. And it's actually kind of funny, like, how obvious it is. Dorothy's like, wait, you just came up with that. Like, we have no idea how to cross this gigantic gulf, and you just figured out how to get across it, but you don't have a brain? And he's convinced that he doesn't have a brain and he can't do things. And so it's a lot about self-deception and lying to ourselves and seeing that we actually have the gifts that we think that we want.
You've got the power. You gotta see it.
So yeah, that's actually really cool. That's one. That's a big thing throughout the book.
Yeah, and the lion is always the most courageous, and he's like, I'll do anything to help us get there and stuff like that. So.
Remember that big discussion we had about color?
Yeah, color is another huge theme in the book.
The beginning of the book, the first chapter, whenever he's talking about Kansas and stuff, this is why on the movie version, the old one, it starts out black and white. Because in this one, he talks about how gray everything is. At the beginning of the book, just everything was so gray and her life was dull and gray and gray. And he uses gray like 20 times in the first chapter, the color. But then when she gets to Oz, he starts describing all of the color that's there, and then color is a really big deal. Like the city of Oz is green.
Yeah, everyone thinks of the Emerald City as green, but actually all of the civilizations have their own different color. We actually saw a map, and the Emerald City's in the middle, and then there's 4 different civilizations, and each one has its own color. The Munchkins are actually blue. They wear completely blue, they paint all over their houses blue. I think they actually try to dye most of their food blue. Probably. Same thing with the Winkies. The Winkies are actually, it's actually interesting, there's more there than you think. There's not just the Munchkins and then the Wicked Witch is over here with monkeys. It's, the Wicked Witch has actually taken over the Winky civilization and is enslaving them. And so it's not only about, let's kill the Wicked Witch, it's, let's help the Winkies out, and they're yellow. So there's this huge thing with color. And I guess you can get a lot out of that. I don't remember exactly some of the things that we.
Another thing is that the Emerald City, it isn't actually green, but when you go to the Emerald City, like the outside of the city is green, but before you go in, they give you a pair of glasses that are tinted green. So when you go in, everything you see looks green.
It's actually all white.
It's kind of a ripoff.
So when they come out of the Emerald City, so they have like all these beautiful green dresses and stuff, and when they come out, they're all wearing white, and they're like, how did that happen?
And they're like, I don't know.
And they don't get it. They're just like, oh, okay, yeah. We're wearing white.
And like, so much of it is that. It's the Tin Man is crying for the bug and thinks he can't love anyone. The Scarecrow figures out how to get across like this mile-long gulf, but he thinks he doesn't have a brain. The Lion beats up some of the scariest monsters in the place, all before Oz gives them their things, and they still think that they don't have those. They put on green tinted glasses. They see the lenses and they are green tinted. They walk out of Oz and take them off, and all of a sudden they're wearing white and they don't see it. And you're like, that's so obvious! But when you really apply it to life, you think, wait, there's actually some stuff like that in our lives that is ridiculously painfully obvious, but we are so involved in trying to believe that it's another way that we don't see the blatantly obvious.
Yeah, like,
and that's something
you might be like
really
super
learn.
talented at something and you can go super far, but you just want like, just like, oh no, I could never do that because you never try or something like that.
Yeah.
Totes.
So it's actually really good. Don't think that you shouldn't read it just because
You've seen a million versions of it.
Because it's a lot different.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
It's a lot different. You're gonna be surprised. You're gonna be surprised. You're really gonna like it. The characters are actually really, really funny.
It's really fun.
Yeah, actually, most of the journeying is way different. You're gonna actually be surprised how much is different from what you've seen.
Yeah, like when they're in the poppies, like these mice come and save them and stuff, instead of them saving themselves.
Yeah.
I think there's something cool that goes on there with the mice, but I don't remember.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wait, isn't it the same thing as like in Narnia, because they like the mice help them and like.
I say we don't give away the entire book.
Okay,
no, I don't remember that. Yeah, so Wizard of Oz, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, by L. Frank Baum.
And you should buy this version because the illustrations are beautiful.
It is.
I don't even know. We got it from like a used bookstore, but it's like gorgeous.
It is the
Great
Reads edition by Dalmatian Press. The illustrations are pretty great.
They really are.
No, it really is. Like, it makes it like 10 times better. For real.
Well, no,
like it wouldn't even be a good book without it.
Like,
you can leave.
It wouldn't even be a good book.
Just kidding.
Lies.
Anyway.
You think kids will enjoy the plot?
Totes. Well, duh. So Wizard of Oz.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, there is. And it's really interesting. It's not just like, oh, I already know what happens, so, oh my gosh, you can't read it because it's interesting.
What age do you think can
Well, yeah, and also, what surprised me is, like, it's not just they kill the Wicked Witch and get their stuff. There's like a whole other, like, half the book left after they do that.
Yeah.
It's like all this other stuff, like there's a random princess lady and stuff. So that surprised me a lot.
It's beautiful, John. Okay.
No, really, it goes on for like ever. Like,
so yeah, this is I actually think it's pretty good at being more of a family book. Like I can't remember exactly how
I don't think there's anything
how it's
like
written, but I think that it's slightly simpler grammar so that younger kids will be able to understand it, and it's kind of a simple, fun plot line. But at the same time, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that anybody can get out of it. So I think it's just a pretty good family book. There's nothing really scary in it at all. I don't remember how in depth it goes with the Wicked Witch. Not too much though.
It just says that she's a side
Yeah, it's
boss,
just really fun.
Weird.
It's just really fun. So
if you want to read it to your little chillins, then that would be like a
I was gonna
family
say that.
activity.
Yeah, like at night.
Yeah, which you should do that because it's
fill them with great literature while they're tiny.
Yes.
Then they grow up and be like Mozart or something.
Maybe.
All right.
Okay.
So anyways, this is the
We've already introduced it like 9
Wizard of
times.
Oz. I'm going to introduce it one more time. This is the wonderful Wizard of Oz because it's very wonderful by L. Frank Baum.
Yay!
With awesome illustrations.
Bye.
Bye.